Hi, welcome back to Wild Speculations. I'm Daniel.
I'm Scott.
This week, many weeks hence, not talk about a numbered episode, but recap the campaign in general and our theories going forward. And I also wanted to touch on what we can expect from a production standpoint.
Okay.
We still have our notes from episode 99. I was going to erase them, but I was like, it feels better that they're there.
Yeah.
But I rewatched the 99th episode recently after Marisha announced that they were coming back. Just to reacquaint myself with the episode. And in some ways, it was the perfect episode to sort of end on, because so much of everything that had been all the threads that had been coming throughout the campaign, were touched on in that episode in some way. So, yeah, I just, looking at it, I was like, oh, yeah, that's, like, everything sort of ticks. Matt left it off on the cliffhanger with the dragon turtle.
Right.
But, yeah. So, this has little to do with the episodes, but it does have to do with the downtime that we've all had, as it were.
Yeah.
Did you do anything Thursdays with your Thursday evenings, or in your time slot that you normally would?
Oh, in my time slot, I checked out a few other streams. I did do some rewatching, not every episode, but
your highlight reel, basically.
Yeah, basically. Checked out some highlight reels. Checked out some other Critical Role fan content, whether it be highlights or parodies or whatever.
Yeah, I was already subscribed to several animators, but I did a deep dive.
Okay.
And I think I watched almost all of the playlist that YouTube gave me when I searched Critical Role animate. But yeah, and if you guys have any suggestions, let us know. But yeah, when they announced that they weren't going to be broadcasting Thursdays anymore, I spent a week prepping a Roll20 game.
Right.
And then ran that for a few weeks for 3 players. And at the conclusion of that story, TPK, I was like, that was nice. And it satisfied my D&D itch. Because at that point, we were not playing D&D at all.
Right.
So I was like, I'm going to do that again. So I cast a little bit of a wider net this time for players. It ended up with 6. And ran that. The first one I think was 4 weeks. The second one was 5 or 6 weeks. So it's really only been the last couple Thursdays that I haven't had D&D at all.
Gotcha.
Despite my efforts to recruit my daughter or her friends. Look, I'll run for you and your friends. Whatever you guys want. But yeah. So we got word they're coming back.
Yep.
They are pre-taping.
Yeah.
The show. Separated from one another, following the guidelines of the state of California's White Letter.
Yep.
Which included input from trade unions and such. I have been wondering, and we discussed this briefly when we talked about doing this episode tonight.
Right.
Do you think they pre-tape a lot of episodes?
Personally, I do.
So do I.
I think they're probably doing a month's worth of episodes at a time, just like we used to do when we did Error Glitch, and we'd spend a whole day just taping and then release them in increments.
Yeah.
I get a feeling they're probably doing 1 full day, 4 episodes.
See, I would think it's going to be 2 days.
Possibly.
Just because our release and episode length production schedule, we aim for about an hour an episode.
Yeah.
Where they will run until
do
it's done.
3, 4, 5 hour episodes. So
yeah,
2 days.
You
know, to get a month in.
Yeah. I don't imagine they'll be doing a lot in post.
Yeah.
My gut feeling is the cast said, you know, we have to do these things for health and safety.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they still want to preserve as much of the live stream as possible.
Yeah.
So okay, I just said that and now I'm going to contradict myself. Because the one thing that they might do in post is add all of the D&D Beyond stuff that was happening live. Because I don't think they can't really capture that data to rebroadcast that data with the broadcast.
Right.
I don't think. Not without spoiling it. Like if they have the D&D Beyond overlay there, you go and mouse over and you see one person's 0 hit points and 3 failed deaths.
Yeah.
You know somebody died that episode and who it was. So I don't imagine that overlay will work, which, because you watched on a mobile device, was never something you really interacted with.
Right.
And I only did rarely. So they might do something like that. Like they used to have, was it Alpha was the channel?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where they had their graphical overlay. They may do something like that for these episodes. But yeah, I think it'll be probably 4 episodes in the can, just so that they can cover any potential shutdown that happens. So, which they might. Governor Ducey here in Arizona has issued a shutdown order for 30 days for bars and stuff. So it's not outside of the realm of possibility that Governor Newsom, I think, does something similar.
California's being far more cautious with their reopening than Arizona is, though.
Yeah. California seems to be handling it very much like New York.
Yeah.
Who arguably has done the best of any state. So we might not, depending on how bad it gets here in Arizona and how much bleed over that has, into California. We'll see. But yeah, I think it's prudent for them to pre-tape everything.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we will see any of the cast members in chat during the episode? Because that was something I thought of
Possibly.
yesterday.
They may take turns. Like Matt and Marisha 1 week, Travis and Laura 1 week.
Yeah. Because I gotta think for them, it's because Sam and Travis usually have chat running on their phones.
Yeah.
At the table. But I think it would be a totally different experience for them to essentially watch the episode with us, but just be watching chat.
Yeah.
The big question is, though, if they are pre-taping that far ahead, can they keep from giving out spoilers?
I think they're pretty good at it. So
I don't know. I think
some are better than others, but they're no Tom Holland. So
it's fair. I just think it's easy to conceal something that's script driven that you've been hired to do, and
that's true.
It's easier to do that. Whereas this is essentially a D&D game, and we all know how much we like to talk about our D&D games, and it just so happens they have 50,000 people that would really like to talk to them about their D&D game.
Yes.
So which is a potential argument against them pre-recording so much. But I think you have to.
Yeah.
In the environment that they're producing the show in, they have to.
Yeah.
The over-under on Random Shenanigans episode 100. What do you think?
Sam's first in-character joke will be about how it seems like it's been months that dragon turtle has been following them.
Okay, fair, yes.
Or Liam's. Liam loves to make a joke about the long breaks when they take time off.
That's true. But I mean, like, stuff like, oh, we haven't seen each other in forever, and all that, that kind of stuff. Or when they come back from break, sometimes there's a bit of silliness around the table. Matt has trouble. They're the most hurting of cats moments after a break.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll get much of that? Because I don't.
I don't. I think there'll be a little bit, but less than normal.
Okay.
I think they've probably been interacting with each other a little more because they don't all have their own separate jobs in addition to their job at Critical Role that they've been going to for the past few months.
Yeah,
and they're all close friends.
The recording work that they have been doing has been at home.
Yeah.
But they've been doing narrative telephone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they've been still interacting and everything.
See, and I think that's part of it, but I think the major thing that's going to keep the goofiness from happening is actually the set.
Yeah.
They're not in proximity.
Yeah.
To do the side talk, to do the throwing things at each other.
Well, see, they're not going to have chat on their phone because there's no chat in a pre-tape. So they're going to be texting each other. for that side talk. It won't be as much as normal side talk,
I hadn't thought about that.
but they will be shooting each other messages.
That's fair.
Especially when someone else is in the spotlight and they can just real quick tap, 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 tap.
Yeah.
So, the story's focused on Jester, and Sam shoots Liam a message, or Mauritius shoots Taliesin a message,
Yeah. Yeah. Although they're going to be scrambling that with a CR-17 beast on them.
Yeah.
Like I say, I think they can do it. Mathematically, they should be able to kill this thing.
Mathematically, they can. It is not stacked in their favor. They're on a single boat. One good die roll on the steam breath weapon can tear that boat apart. And then they're all in the water.
No, I looked at the numbers for this when we did the review for episode 99. The steam breath weapon is the only attack that the turtle has that can actually reliably damage the ship. Its bite attack might not, statistically, like a third of the time, it's not actually going to damage the ship because it can't get over the threshold.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know that it's going to end in battle. Dragon turtles are sentient, sapient creatures. They could be talked with. It could be there to deliver a message from the Plank King. Matt said that the dragon turtle that's known in that area has an accords with the pirates.
Yes, and they are in a pirate ship that used to belong to a Serona Ukatoa, which the dragon turtle may be in opposition to. And depending on the frequency of communication between the dragon turtle and the Plank King, they know that ship is now an enemy of Darktoe.
Enemy is a strong word.
That's true. A persona non grata.
Maybe they do some quick thinking, wheeling and dealing. I mean, Caduceus isn't going to want to kill the thing unless they have to.
Yes. I don't know. I don't see how it doesn't have there's not. The way Matt set it up, initiative is going to be rolled. Whether the combat is to the death, probably not. Because they could, in theory, reason with the dragon turtle. I just don't think they have anything the dragon turtle would want.
No, I mean, there could be several ways it could be handled. There could be combat. There could be combat to the death. There could be combat till, there's a team up all the comic books. There could just be discussion. It could be a message from the Plank King. We didn't get a lot in the Pirate City. It could be a plot twist
to bring them back. Especially after Jester messaged the Plank King.
The one counter argument to that is everything Matt is pushing on them is to go north.
The next chapter is definitely to the north.
Right. Whether this is a side quest here that they do or don't do.
Yeah.
So it could be the Plank King has called in a favor from the dragon turtle, and sent him to get them back. We could see an attack and the Merid that they freed from slavery in Nicodranus saved their asses.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for that to come back.
Yeah.
Because he did say he owes them.
Yep.
They all do. Well, in theory, they all still have water breathing cast on them. So even if the ship does go down,
yes,
they're not going to drown.
Yes.
So, well, at least our principal cast will not.
Some of the deckhands.
Yeah.
We could see it end with Jester arriving at Traveler Con on the back of a dragon turtle.
That'd be funny. Yet another parallel for Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Well, if you want a parallel for that, then, the dragon turtle will teach Bo some bending.
Or maybe it'll teach Jester how to tattoo, because Orly hasn't.
Yeah.
And I think Orly might be a potential ace in the hole. Not that turtles have to exist near or around dragon turtles, but the habitats usually are
gonna overlap.
Yeah.
To a degree.
Yeah.
I know it's definitely not going to happen in this episode because they didn't do it in episode 99. I still want to know why they went after Orly. Why they didn't question Orly from that attack.
Yeah.
That is still a big thing for me.
Why were they so intent on killing Orly the way that they were on board? Yeah.
Orly's got something dark in his closet.
Yeah.
There's something there, and I want to know what it is.
Well, and that he's never been... They were fairly upfront with their desire to oppose Avantika.
Mm-hmm.
And Orly was kind of okay with it.
Yeah.
And it also makes me wonder if Orly knew Vandren, because everyone at Darktoe seemed to know Vandren.
Yep.
And Orly admitted that he had been there before.
Yep.
So, yeah, there's definitely stuff in Orly's past that they could dig into. But they don't usually do that.
Yeah.
Like even with Essek, where arguably they probably should have, and the reveal of him being the traitor might not have been as shocking.
Yeah.
Had they done the digging. But yeah, we'll see. I think Orly. Oh, maybe after the fight with the dragon turtle, there might be some conversation about that.
Yeah, especially if they conversate with the dragon turtle, and the dragon turtle knows things. Something may come out that make them go, wait a minute, what's he talking about?
Yeah.
But I want to know what's up with Orly.
Now, in theory, the dragon turtle knows common.
Yes.
So, in theory, it could conversate with them. But, in the past, Matt has, with Marquesian and Zemnian.
Mm-hmm.
There are other languages other than Common
Yep.
that the small folk speak. And maybe the dragon turtle never bothered to learn it, so it only speaks Draconic.
That's true.
That would make Orly the only one on board that could speak to it. Yeah. Unless Marisha took Draconic when she took Undercommon. But I don't think she got multiple languages. I think she just got the one.
Just
because she got that at level 11.
Caleb doesn't have it, Draconic?
No, he's Celestial. He's
that's right.
Common.
Celestial.
And Not is Halfling Goblin.
Right.
Common. Ford will have Orc and Common. I don't think he speaks any other language.
I don't think so.
Jester has Infernal and Common. Yasha has Celestial, Abyssal, and Common. And
Caduceus has Sylvan and Common.
yeah. So,
although if it has an accords with the pirates,
it would in theory have an understanding of Common. Yeah. But it's also a question. It might understand Common, but it may not be able to vocalize it.
True.
I mean, it's a giant beak. So it may be able to understand them speaking, but it may only be able to enunciate in Draconic.
It's true.
Which would give, if Matt wants to bait the question, the questions of Orly, that would be the way to do it.
Yeah.
Is for Orly to have to translate. And then he narrates Orly becoming uncomfortable at one point or another.
Yeah. Well, even if that does happen, Caleb knows comprehend languages.
True.
Yeah, whether I don't know that he's got it prepared, which would mean he'd have to cast it as a ritual.
I think he does have it prepared.
Okay.
Or at least he had it in his repertoire when they were meeting. When they were at the meeting, because he cast it right away.
Yeah.
When they went to the assembly ship, Wind of Eons.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. There's also the question of whether or not the dragon turtle is a servant of Uktor or not.
Yeah.
Although I don't think they are. I think they're classified as neutral, I think.
Yeah.
Which is why they can be reasoned with. Yeah. The thing is, like, they have the vehicle rules that they didn't get to use.
Yeah.
Which Sam dig out of his binder after Ashley reminded him, "Don't you have those in your binder?"
Yeah.
So. But yeah, with the cannons, if Jester or Caduceus has control water prepared, that makes the fight a lot easier.
Yeah.
Depending on initiative, they could control water and spin the ship on a dime so that the cannons are there.
Yeah.
and then they can even do it again to turn it around again to do an what's called an S turn.
Yeah.
Which is a great way if you have speed over a ship that's chasing you to just decimate it. Because it also, if you have a full crew, you fire the broadside, turn, this broadside fires, and at a time that it takes you to turn and then turn again,
the other
these
one's
guns,
reloaded.
yeah. So, but if it's essentially just Not and Yasha on the guns, probably won't have that high rate of fire. But yeah, with the cannons and 7 level 11 PCs, they have a real good chance to kill a turtle. Do you think, if it goes badly, do you think Ford develops a full-on phobia of turtles after the fiasco with Polymorph in the Giant's Cave? Fiasco.
No.
The hilarity.
No. I think a joke or two is made about it, but it's never something that seriously sticks.
Okay. One of the rabbit holes I fell into was ship videos. Forrester, Widow Jest, mainly. Do you think we get any of that? Because we've talked about how there's definitely something between Jester and Caleb.
Yeah.
But we are in agreement that Caleb will not act on it.
Yeah.
And Jester seemed like I don't think we talked a huge amount about it when we did our review of episode 99, but when I rewatched it, I was like, she is treating Caleb the same way she treated Ford in the beginning.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It will be interesting to see how that goes. And Travis will be happy to be off the hook and be off that ship. Except, of course, to troll the fans when he gives Jester a kiss or what have you.
I think whether it's in episode 100 or 101, whenever Traveler Con, the bulk of Traveler Con happens.
I think it will be episode 100.
I think so too. But depending on how long this dragon turtle thing gets drug out.
Like I say, they can take it, so I don't expect it to go longer than 4 rounds.
Okay.
And if they decide to negotiate with it before or during, it will end faster. But it had been 2 episodes, I think, since their last combat. Or no? Yeah, because basically they had no combats last episode. 98, there was no combat. Or 99, there was no combat. So, and I think Matt tries to plan for the potential of at least 1 combat.
Yeah.
An episode. With sometimes the potential for as many as 4. because he's had 4 to 6 maps.
Yeah.
Prepped. And I think there's just too much. This will be the last time, basically, in the campaign for them to have a nautical battle where Nott gets to shoot a cannon.
Okay, that's fair.
Because, like I say, we're both in agreement. Story's going north.
Yeah. But back to what I was saying, at TravelerCon, I think we will see Nott try to force a moment between Jester and Ford, and we will see Jester and Caleb have a moment.
Is it between Jester and Ford that Nott forces, or Jester and Bo?
She's pretty stuck on the Ford Jester.
She has been in the past, yes. But depending on, well, I guess it depends on largely on what happens and how much of a mood Sam is in.
Yeah. So could be either one of those. But my thought is Ford. My thought is because Jester's slowly been moving away from the attraction to Ford, realizing that it was part of growing up and learning what it was, and that whole first crush was a growing experience. It wasn't real.
Yeah.
And I think we're at a point where she shuts the door on that possible ship. And I think we've got the Widow just because that's been building naturally.
Yeah.
Whereas Jester and Ford was kind of forced as a way for Laura to mess with Travis.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that it won't eventually circle back to Jester and Ford by the end of the campaign.
Yeah.
But for the time being, I think a moment is forced, and Jester realizes that it's not what she thought it was, and she shuts the door on that ship, at least for the time being.
I can almost foresee the moment. Well, I can foresee the moment that it closes forever. And that is in the lead up to Traveler. They're at TravelerCon. They're planning everything. And Ford reiterates his reservations to Jester, which thus far he has not really done.
Yeah. Once
he's danced around it with her, and then when she's not in the room, he's like, "Yo, this guy's crazy, or we can't be doing this."
What I can see is him saying this to someone else.
Jester over here,
and Jester being in the doorway.
Yeah.
And
although,
whereas Caleb doesn't necessarily trust the Traveler either, but he, rather than, oh, this is wrong, we need to stop it, he's like, he's lucky to have you. You're the one with the power. He's supportive of her, period.
So I think on the levels of acceptance, worship, love of the Traveler, Jester is number 1. Caleb is number 2. Nott's number 3. Then Bo. Bo or Yasha. Although
I think Bo is higher.
Bo's been the most, this is a cult of all of them, and in Jester's face about it.
Bo is also the one who said, you follow him and we follow you, so by proxy we follow him.
Yeah, but I think that was just lip service to Jester. I mean, yes, she did say that, and she is part of Chaos Crew. And that's why I put her below Nott, because Nott genuinely, the last time Nott and Jester talked, I think Jester basically sold Nott on it. Like, even if you
Yeah.
don't worship
Oh
him,
no, I would
you
put, I
are
would put
involved.
Nod at number 2 and Bo at number 3.
Oh.
Caleb
So Caleb is your contention there. Huh?
Caleb is Caleb is like where you've got Bo for me. Him or Yash, I don't know. I don't think either of them are on. I think Caleb accepts that he's a real thing and that he's powerful, but I don't think.
Here's my counter argument.
Okay.
Caleb has already had a religious experience
Mm-hmm.
through Jester in the Traveler's service. I may be the transmutation wizard, but you change people. Because she changed him. And she's the one that says, Essek or Yusa, gave these warnings and summations of wizards. You're not like that now, are you? Will you be like that? And he didn't really deny that. And we talked at length about that when we discussed that episode. But
that's a fair point. But
and that's why, he's of all of the other Mighty Nine, he was the one when the Traveler presented himself that was like, no, okay, we're good. And of everyone else, he is the one, second to Jester, thinking about how Traveler Con is going to function. Because he's presented Jester with, hey, I can do this, I can do this, we can do this.
To me, that's more in support of Jester than adherence to the Traveler.
I think in the grand scheme of faith in D&D, that's a distinction without a difference. If he believes in the miracles of the followers of this deity, then he believes in the deity.
Okay, so but he's been saying maybe you're the one with the power.
I think
maybe because he's there because of you.
the problem is we don't have a theological discussion between Caleb and Caduceus to compare.
True.
That's why I can't say for sure that it's faith and not. Because some of the stuff that he has said to Ford and Caduceus mimics what he has said to Jester vis-a-vis the Traveler. But
well, I mean, it's hard to be an atheist in D&D.
Yeah.
When gods are present,
when you can go speak to them,
actually active in the world, it's hard to be an atheist.
Yeah. When you can cast a 7th level spell and go talk to them.
Yeah.
Face to face.
So I don't think it's an issue of, I'm not saying he doesn't believe the Traveler's a deity of some sort. But I don't think he's got any preference to the Traveler over any other deity. He has preference to Jester. Whereas when Liam played Vax, sorry.
I do it too. Everybody does. That's why they have the shirts.
Yeah. Well, that was mainly for Matt. But, and he had the seeking religion moment and questioned Pike and was on the road to becoming, a servant of Saren Ray, and then ended up in the deal with the Raven Queen.
Yeah.
That was more about deity. Now, granted, he initially chose the Raven Queen to make a deal to protect his sister.
Yeah. Well, and his interest in Saramay was because of Pike. And that's why I say, arguably, it's a distinction without a difference.
But...
because they all come to the deity through their servants. It's like a good preacher will grow a church, a bad one will split it.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, I saw that more as looking for a deity, whereas this is looking...
Well, I think Caleb is...
I don't think Caleb's looking for a deity.
No. In fact, I would venture to guess that he is grateful for the divine gate, and that it was probably the best thing to happen.
Vatsladan was actively seeking religion and spirituality.
Yeah.
That's the difference for me. The motive in what he's doing, whether it brings him to the traveler or not, is not the traveler. It is not spirituality. It is supporting someone he cares about.
Yeah. It's odd that, like last campaign, for most of the campaign it was really only Pike.
Mm-hmm.
And then it became Pike and Vax.
Mm-hmm.
That was still basically it. Grog had some connection to Cord, but only in the sense for the Titanstone knuckles.
Yeah.
And the information that Earthbreaker Groom could give them.
Right.
But this campaign, the A-religious are the exception.
Yeah, because Jester and the Traveler, Caduceus and the Wild Mother, Ford and the Wild
and Ukatoa.
And Ukatoa, Yasha and Cord. Cord.
Stormlord, yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's really Caleb and Not are the two that...
Yeah, theoretically, Bo and Iori, you know.
Bo is Ayun.
Ayun. Iori's the Pathfinder version of Ayun.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry.
We've been playing Pathfinder, and I've mixed up my gods of knowledge that are over monks. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Although Bo has never been, and is admittedly so, has never been particularly devout of Ayun.
No, she's definitely the Christmas Easter.
Yeah.
But she still works in the church.
Yeah. She's your Jesuit priest.
Yes.
Who's more scientist than a priest.
Yes. I mean, Molly Mock, long may you reign.
Well, even Molly was very
the
religious.
Moonweaver.
Yeah.
It followed the Moonweaver. You know. So yeah, it is literally Caleb and Not.
Yeah.
And the majority of the NPCs have been religious.
Yeah. And we have another reckoning with Veth. Because Veth is Veth again.
Mm-hmm.
And she told her family, I gotta go do this thing, and then I'll be back.
And this time it'll be,
I gotta go do this thing, and then I'll be back. And it's sort of, we already know that Yeza is going to say, you know, hey, do what you need to do. Because he's said it multiple times in several different ways. Also the fact that he's like, you know, yeah, you've made more money than I've ever seen.
Yeah. And
probably ever would see if it was just me working my alchemy shop. So yeah, go do your thing. And she gave him a bunch of money. Was it 1,000 gold?
Yeah.
I think, to basically buy a house or start a shop.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's not going to be as painful as the lead up to the first leaving was after she was vet. Where the lead up to the changeover and everything, that was very stressful for not vet. Whereas this time, I think when she goes back there and sees that he's established, and and maybe Luke is enrolled in a school or has a tutor. Because some of the thought processes will be, well, I can go do this thing, make a bunch of money. I don't want to uproot you now.
Yeah.
So I see that's where that's going to go.
Okay.
And maybe the events at Traveler Con help to inform that. That could be an interesting conversation between Knot and the Traveler.
Yeah.
Because I imagine Matt will structure that. Well, he could structure it so that everyone has sort of a moment with the Traveler to get sort of his philosophy on things. As basically, they have previewed that it could just be an ecumenical conference where they hash out the dogma and everything.
Their Council of Nicene.
Yeah.
So
Essentially.
to speak.
Yeah. And if that happens, the most engaging way for that to happen narratively, for the players and for us, the audience, is for those personal conversations to be had.
Yeah.
With whoever wishes to have them. And possibly for the Traveler to confront some of Jester's friends. Because... Yeah. Because the last time they were sort of confrontational for him.
Yeah.
And he strikes me, Artagon is the type to... He'll wait. And then come back at you.
Yeah.
And he will be at his most powerful at Traveler Con. And Jester will be at her most pliable in regards to whatever wedge he can drive between her and troublesome companions.
Yes.
And it may be because the trick that Artagon needs to do is gather everyone together. You are all here. We are blessed. Oh no, I'm so powerful, I have to go behind the divine gate.
Yeah.
So, if he wants to continue the faith, which he seems, he could go either way.
Yeah.
He likes the extra power it gives him, but he doesn't want to be doing all this shit all the time. So, I think we see... I don't want to say a love scene, but a potentially romantic scene between Bo and Yasha.
Yeah, I can see that.
Especially if Yasha whips out her harp again I can see Bo going to her and admitting that she heard her on the last day in Nicodranas. Because I think if she's going to get Knot off of the idea of playing matchmaker between her and Jester, the easiest route for that to go is for her to get with Yasha.
To pursue Yasha,
And I imagine that's what's going to happen with that. I think whatever they are going to do in the north will lead us closer to finding out where the Tarask is going to come out of.
Yep.
And I could see it coming out up north.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Tarask attack that has been in media previously was at Neverwinter. So,
yeah.
The Tarask and ice and things are somewhat close together.
Yeah.
But it can come up anywhere. But yeah, I think it's going to be... And we'll get more of the Flying City lore.
Yep.
Which might play into things. Because we may learn that the reason why the Divine Gate was built and all the gods removed themselves was to ensure that the Tarask did not rise. Because it was like they were already wreaking havoc and destruction across Exandria. The specifics of which we don't know. But it seems to me that the evil gods could have gotten together, or it's from the primordial, the Titans, as the Tarask usually tends to be. But flying cities would have no fear of the Tarask.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why the cities started flying in the first place.
Yep.
Oh, you're going to have that beast running amok? We'll just take off, thanks. So, yeah. But I think episode 100 will be the giant turtle, the dragon turtle, and then Traveler Con.
Okay.
And I think one way or the other, the dragon turtle will be before break.
Oh, yeah.
And Traveler Con will either start before the break or right after.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right.
And we'll be here next week to talk about episode 100. Any last words?
That's it. It's good to be back. Excited for Thursday.
Yeah. Same. Again, if you guys have any suggestions for animation or artwork, whatever, pop them down below, and we will see you guys later.
Hey, guys.